In April, we brought together the UK's top young actors and filmmakers from across the UK to take part on our 10-day Set Ready course at Ravensbourne University.
Okay, so I'm Isabella Bella Gale, sort of on a work experience year, looking to start a university for film and work in film. And yeah, I make films at home, video game, Comic-Cons, that kind of thing.
So my name's Emma Hackett. I'm originally from Glasgow, but I moved to Birmingham when I was like 6. So I travelled down here from Birmingham, so it wasn't as long as Glasgow, thank God. At the minute I'm in my final year of A-levels, studying in acting BTEC and media studies, so I'm learning how to edit, make websites and things like that.
I'm Sean, recently graduated from Bristol University. I did a music degree. And now I work as a street charity fundraiser. Prior to uni I did a lot of acting at school, and then at uni I carried on doing lots of acting, wrote lots of music for different plays and started directing and wrote a play that I took to the Edinburgh Fringe in August.
Hi, I'm Rahul. So my sort of aim for the future is to start getting work in the film and TV industry as an actor. As an actor, I feel this course is going to give me the really nice experience of how to work on set when act for film, because I've done stuff for theatre before, but for film it's a different style of acting, so it'd be really good to sort of see how that adapts my performance.
Throughout this documentary, we're going to follow these 4 participants throughout their journey. But first, let's find out why they decided to do the 10-day course.
The reason why I've come here for the course for the 2 weeks is to kind of kickstart to my transition into filmmaking from being a theatre maker.
I'm looking forward to actually getting in front of the camera and learning all the different mechanisms and things, because I know if you're being filmed and your eyes flick quite a lot when you're talking to someone, because you go between eye to eye, being able to control my eye contact, that's going to be difficult.
So I sort of was coming into this course with the expectation of wanting to meet like-minded people, people that I could build relationships with, work with outside of the course. I mean, we're all creative, so it's always good to know actors and to know editors. You never know when you're going to need the contact or want to make something. And I definitely wanted to come into this and leave feeling fulfilled, like I've got what I want out of the course, like I've learned something, that I've made something I'm proud of, that I can use for show reels or enter into festivals, that we, not necessarily just me, but we as a group are proud of.
I'd say sort of my typical role in the past has been sort of a quiet or shy teenager, or just somebody maybe with a lot of anxiety, something like that sort of character. But in the future I'd like to go off into different things, because I'd like to do various genres like comedy and so on.
So usually my castability is someone quite gritty and emotional. People would often say Jeremy Kyle, but obviously not as Jeremy Kyle. In these 2 weeks though, I'm going for a bit more comedy, so I'm going to mix emotion and the comedy. That's why I've gone for a more dry humour, a more naturalistic, sarcastic humour instead of slapstick.
A lot of my AD style I'm really going to have to take from watching ADs that I've worked on set. I was on a film last summer called Black Site, and the AD on that I had a very close relationship with, obviously as a runner, so there were 3 runners, a second AD and him, so we were very closely working under him. But he mucked in and helped with us, and he was always remember, never get your crew to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. So that's something I want to keep in mind as well, is that, I think it's just treating everyone as equal and keeping it all like a working machine.
After completing registration, the first day of the course began.
So today has been really, really great. Got here this morning about 9 o'clock, so I've got to meet everybody. It was really great.
We had a big talk first in the lecture theatre, learned all about the course and met our course tutors, and Rob told us about his journey and things, which was quite interesting to hear about, because it's nice to get to know the people that you're working with and things like that, instead of just being a bit hi.
So far it's been pretty cool, really long day so far. We've ultimately, the whole of today has been trying to develop our concept for our 12-minute short film.
And from the word go just started on our films.
After a few hours, the group started to piece together their ideas.
We're going down the route of people from in a job interview. We're going to be tricked into believing that there's like a terrorist attack style, just to see how we all act, and there's all the different archetypes and things. It sounds like it'll be quite funny if we get it right.
One thing we came up with was trying to make a sort of void-like location. So we've got to really think about how much is going to be practical and how much we're going to have to do in post.
It's going to take quite a lot of work tomorrow to like funnel it into a script that we can then refine into our pitch. But I'm excited, and I'm really impressed by how focused and positive and engaged all the other people on the course are.
After an intense day of pre-production, the first day comes to a close. With the ideas coming together, it was on to day 2.
I think we've got everything sorted now for the film, so we've decided where we're going to do it, because we're all sort of students in the film. It's like a sort of house party. A few things go wrong. There's a bit of tension between some of the characters. So we've decided to do it at flats, I think, somebody's flat from our group. We're going to be using their living room and their sort of kitchen as sort of our filming area for inside the party. Then we're also going to have like a police interrogation because of the events that happen at the party. So we'll be using maybe one of the rooms in this building, like a smaller room, a table and a chair, so that'll be interesting to film.
We developed a sort of like a character list, a cast list, and we've got everyone to sort of chip in with ideas to create sort of these detailed profiles of how the different characters would look, you know, the things that they hold, some aspects of their, you know, their biographies, their backstories, and where we are, sort of the end of the day, we're going to sort of like set ourselves up to allow the writer to go off and actually write a first draft that we'll then workshop and rehearse tomorrow.
A problem we're having is lighting, because we want to have a very sort of surreal yet still real element with it, so we need quite bright lights, so we're just trying to think about the practicalities a lot. But it's coming together, and I think when we're shooting, it will be different. I think the build-up is just, will we have everything, and will everything be sorted? It's just that kind of pre-shoot nerves, which are good, but also like stressful.
We should start shooting tomorrow, but because we haven't got our cast list yet, we're going to run some rehearsals, get to know our characters a bit better and how they interact with each other, and then either start shooting tomorrow afternoon or Thursday morning, first thing. I need to go to Primark tonight to buy an office outfit.
Now the groups have a final idea, and with the scripts coming together, it was time for the producer's pitch.
So this morning we had the pitches from everyone. It was quite interesting to hear everyone's story ideas and things, because obviously we've spent such a long period of time figuring out, well, it feels like a very long period of time trying to figure it out. Everyone's is like polar opposite, like no one's actually went for anything remotely similar, which is quite interesting, especially when we're given a theme to work around. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see how everyone's took the theme in completely different ways.
The only similar group is probably group 3 is very similar to group 2, as we both sort of picked a social media type online platform. However, as they said in their pitch, they're going for a more contemporary Sherlock kind of aesthetic, and we've gone very sci-fi, Black Mirror.
Can't remember which group it was exactly. One of them is doing something with a VR set, the sort of realities in their phones or something. Something along those lines. I thought that was a really nice idea.
So yeah, going forward, we looked through the first draft of some of the scenes, and we've used them as an opportunity to help the characters to develop aspects of the characterization. I've been sorting out, you know, other elements of admin, making sure that we have the right equipment, making sure, like, liaising with the DOP and my AD about, you know, where we're going to actually shoot.
Throughout the week, the participants also took part in a number of masterclasses and workshops with some of the UK's top industry professionals.
It was nice to have masterclasses. Definitely was nice to get out of the sort of classroom feel that we have been in sort of just with our groups. Yeah, it's nice to have that side of it as well as the working on your own film.
We had a masterclass with a producer and a distributor, which is incredibly interesting.
Just about how to distribute a film, a lot about the importance of festivals, not to overlook that, especially as breaking into the industry with your short film, that there's a lot of higher market for it to be viewed than I first thought, which is really interesting and a nice thing to know, and they went in depth with it and a lot about how they started.
Really excited for this afternoon's workshop. Gareth Edwards, who directed the recent Star Wars film. Really excited just to see his take on, especially with the Star Wars films, they would have, for a lot of the scenes they wouldn't have the full setup, it'd either be like on green screen or in the studio. So it'd be interesting to see what his take is on how he directs actors in that environment.
Ultimately, I'm quite new to filmmaking, so he's a person that's like, achieved so much, and had his fingers in so many aspects of the filmmaking process and been incredibly successful with them. So yeah, he'll have I imagine, some really golden insights to provide.
I'm looking forward to the masterclasses. I'm looking forward to Gareth Edwards because he's such a big director, and I like Star Wars.
It's always really weird because I would come to talks like this all the time and try and pick or get any little nuggets from filmmakers to see how to get into filmmaking. I mean, the main thing I try to get across is it's full of failure. One particular thing I did worked out, but there was 10 things before then that had failed. And so if there's any advice, it's not how often you get knocked down, but how often you get back up, sort of thing. Yeah. Filmmaking is an achievable goal.
Well, it's really nice to think back to the time when you were first starting out in film and to look at all these eager faces. And I think what our job was today was to try and understand a bit about the end process, which is crucial in terms of how you get your films out there.
Do what you know, write what you know, keep it personal. So everything I've done is keep the personal and the same sort of themes that I'm interested in, like community and tribes and tribalism, the kind of things that you're interested in exploring. Make sure that's a part of your work. Don't be doing something because you might think it might be popular or easier to do or whatever. Do what you're interested in because it's only your passion that'll see you through the whole project.
The first 2 shooting days arrived, but are the groups prepared?
Yeah, so we started filming yesterday. It's going really well so far. So we're filming our individual monologue scenes yesterday. And it was interesting to work with the director and just sort of see how he adapted and shaped my performance. With theatre, it's very different, especially with film and TV acting. The director asked me yesterday to sort of play my performance down a bit, because I think with theatre I'm used to projecting a lot and changing the pitch of my voice a lot, and that's not always needed for film and TV.
I am enjoying it. I didn't realise how many takes you'd have to do for every single scene, but it's quite interesting to get to know all the different parts and how making a movie actually works.
I sort of took on the role of doing some producing things, but also AD, so preparing the actors, running through their lines and sort of tweaking some bits before they actually went onto set.
I've been enjoying it a lot. I think I'm lucky because our group, we all just communicate so well. When the actors go to rehearse, they're all coming together, learning their lines, getting a really good energy between them. And then with crew, it's the same. We all know where everyone needs to be, everyone knows their job, so that when we're ready to do a take, sound's already there, cameras set up, director, spoken to the actors beforehand, actors in place. Being AD, obviously if I notice something, I'll tell the director, but Dan is amazing at just saying, oh yeah, we'll pick up on that, or no, it's okay. Everyone's just sort of mutual respect, everyone's listened to, and a point's brought up, it's discussed.
I think what we're going to try to do is to get most of the shooting done by the end of Monday, and then get sort of a rough cut and see where we might need to do some pickups, just to make sure everything's really slick.
Going forward, I think scheduling needs to be looked at very closely. We definitely need to focus on nailing the dialogue, but I feel like we're getting enough shots to play with, and we're moving at a really good pace, and nothing feels rushed, and everyone's giving a really good performance. And yeah, I think that we're gonna come through it. I think we're gonna make something good.
After 4 days, the shoots come to a close, but half the groups get everything that they need.
We have today we've finished all the scenes, we've done our pickups, so it is a wrap. I think yesterday was like the peak of our stress because one of our cast members had to leave a little bit early yesterday, and it was like, why? And we went through about 4 batteries for the camera yesterday. Like, it would die, we'd go borrow someone else's, and then that one would die, and we had about 6 chargers, but it was fine. It meant today that we had to shoot a couple of scenes and then our pickups, but we have done it.
I think yesterday was quite sluggish because we had so much to get through, and it was really important that we just nailed it. So I think there were quite a lot of tensions yesterday because some parts in the script didn't work when we heard them, so we had to take time to rewrite that. But today everyone's completely different mood. I think it's because we've reached the end now. It's gonna come together nicely.
I think we have pulled it off, I hope. Now it's just editing and all of that. Shots-wise, we got all the shots that we wanted to get. I think there were a couple that we didn't quite have time to get, but I think we sort of decided which ones were really necessary. And I actually think that will benefit the film because it just sort of gets rid of the stuff that doesn't really need to be there.
I think coming towards the end was really enjoyable because we could just relax, and we knew that we were nearer and nearer to having finished, and there was no time pressure for us. All of our team were just really supportive of each other, and were willing to do take after take after take in order to get the shots that we needed. And I think there was a really good sense of allowing others to input ideas collaboratively, so that we could ensure that we were all seeing through the initial vision that we had, and allowing it to be flexible enough to then maybe change our ideas around what we wanted.
I think it'll look really good once it's been edited and pieced together and things like that, but we're not allowed to watch it until the screening. Nick doesn't want any of us to watch it until it's up on the big screen, so that it's a big surprise for us all. I think Nick's watched it because obviously he needs to give his input on the editing and things, but we're not allowed.
Yeah, excited to look at the rough cut, which will probably be done by the end of today, and just to see where we can tweak, which is really exciting. I've got some mates to make some music that's going to be used in it, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting.
I looked over pretty much everything, and anything that would just be unusable, we did a pickup for that yesterday. So luckily there were only 2 pickups we did. So today there was a lot less stress and a lot less needed to be done. So it was mainly the last scene filming outside, and yeah, they're just finishing that off, waiting for an actor to come in because he had an appointment, but that's not a problem. It's all falling into place. It's being edited, they're filming, it's chilled.
My favourite part was probably just being on set and actually doing it, because I always watch these sort of documentaries online about how things are filmed, but it's another experience just to actually get to do it.
I actually get to shove someone over, one of the lads. I call him a filthy scumbag, and shove him. That was fun.
This afternoon we are having a wrap meal to celebrate our 4 days of shooting. We're going to All Bar One, and we've all ordered our dishes. It should be a really good, fun, opportunity to, catch up with all the other groups, because we've basically been isolated from each other for the best part of 2 weeks.
Well, I haven't eaten yet today. Well, I've ate some custard creams, but I haven't eaten because otherwise I would not be able to eat a 3-course meal. So I've lived off custard creams all morning.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the screening. I think it'll be interesting to see everybody else's work, but I'm really interested to see how our film's sort of going to come together, because there's a lot of cutting in between locations, so it'd be interesting to see whether it really worked or whether it didn't work, so it'd be interesting to see that.
I think it's going to be weird actually leaving on Friday, because I feel like I've known everyone for so long, but I haven't. I haven't even done them 2 weeks yet, but I feel I've bonded with everyone, so I think that's going to be the weirdest part, like leaving everyone behind.
I think I'll definitely stay in touch with quite a few people in the future, especially when you work with people, and I guess you sort of bounce off people, ideas-wise, and just, I guess you just sort of get along with people and you enjoy spending time with them.
As the editors were hard at work in post-production, the other filmmakers and actors were involved in further masterclasses, including an acting workshop with Sue Jones. Then came the If We Can, You Can masterclass to help inspire our future actors and filmmakers.
If they really want to do this, then it's totally achievable. You know, 10 or maybe 12 years ago, I was in a seat probably just like theirs, listening to some kind of talk just like this. So it's totally doable. Stay focused.
Success is one of those things which I do think, especially in this industry, is really individual. It's about the work and always enjoying what you're doing.
The last day was the eagerly awaited screening at the Cineworld O2. It was a chance to see the final films on the big screen.
The whole experience was insane, really intense, but in a good way.
That was really good, screening was good. I'm really happy with how the films come together. And it was nice to see all of the great work other people have come up with as well. I particularly enjoyed Group 6, it was quite funny, that one.
I really enjoyed watching like everyone else's films, like it was really interesting, but then it was also like, it was so weird seeing myself on the big screen, but it was like very nice, like all the support that we had, like it was actually kind of overwhelming considering it was only like a 10-minute film.
You know, getting to see it in a cinema is just a surreal experience.
Yeah, great to see it finally on the big screen and edited and graded. It was actually funny and people liked it. I've had some really positive words about it. So yeah, overall, good times.
Well, in the future, we'll see what happens. I think after this, we're all going to meet up over the summer and hopefully film another film. And we'll see where I end up next year, and hopefully I'll have a career in film and TV as an actor.
Well, I've got to set my A-levels in May, and then I'm going to university in September to study acting. So, hopefully, praying that I will pursue a career in acting at some point. A bit sad actually, I'm going to miss everyone.
My name is Rahul and I'm set ready.
My name is Emma Hackett and I am set ready.
We're set ready!